Hey everybody, welcome to another lesson of learning Japanese. It is time for another anime line of the day, and so the show that we're going to be covering in this video is going to be none other than JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a line from the 11th episode of this series. So without further ado, here is the line that we're going to cover today.
今が最高に盛り上がるとこなのよ。もしここでこれをやめると、俺は一度決めたことをやり遂げられなかった男として、一生悔いを残すことになる。やめないとどんどん蹴りが強くなるわよ。
So what does this line mean in English? Well, it's going to translate to something along the lines of, if I stop here, I'll become a man who couldn't accomplish the one thing he decided to do and live an entire life of regret. So let's break down this sentence and get a sense of what's going on here grammatically speaking. First up, we are going to start the line with the word moshi, and this is actually going to be the word that you usually just insert at the beginning of a sentence to establish the sentence as a hypothetical, such as if, or in the case of, or supposing. Most commonly, it'll just translate to if. Right after that, we have the word koko, which is just going to translate to here. Here doesn't necessarily have to be a place. We can kind of interpret it as a time too, as in here, right now. Right after here, we have the particle de, and this is going to be a locational marker. It's going to represent that here is where something is going to happen, where an action is going to take place. Right after that, we are going to get to our verb action, but first up we have a direct object, and that is going to be the demonstrative noun kore, which is just going to translate to basically this. And it is somewhat hard to understand what this is referring to because we just threw the sentence at you out of nowhere unless you've seen the episode already. Some contextual information that this is actually going to be referring to the video game he's playing, and that'll make more sense as we move on. Right after that, we have the direct object particle o to mark kore as the direct object, like I just said. Then we have our verb action, which is the verb yameru, which means to stop basically. So kore o yameru is going to translate to stop this basically. What is this? That's going to be the video game, so stop the video game, pretty much going to translate naturally to stop playing the video game. And so let's combine everything that we have so far. Moshi koko de kore o yameru.
Moshi koko de kore o yameru to.
And what that's literally going to translate to is basically if I stop this right here. If we wanted to translate that in a more sensible way to kind of give you an idea of what's going on here exposition wise, we'll say if I stop playing the video game right now. And at the end of this first part of the line, we have just the particle to, and this is basically just going to translate to and basically. We don't actually put and in the translation, but this is the idea that it represents that the sentence is going to go on. So if I stop here, to, then what's after to is going to be the thing that happens if I stop here. And so we're going to move into that part right now. And so now we're in the second part of our line. We start with the word ore, and this is going to be a first person pronoun usually used by boys to refer themselves. So I basically is what it translates to. We have the particle wa to mark I as the topic. We have ichido, which is going to translate to basically one time, on one occasion. So it's kind of putting emphasis on this one moment in his life right now where he's playing this video game. Right after that, we have the word kimeta, and this is going to translate to basically decided. It's the ta form of the verb kimeru, which means to decide. Right after kimeta, we have the word koto, which is going to translate to basically thing. And we see here that the word kimeta is actually modifying this word koto. So basically, ore wa ichido kimeta koto is going to be the thing that I decided on this one occasion, basically. So that whole little clause there is actually just there to modify the word koto, which is giving it more description. So not only is it a thing, it's the thing that I decided upon on this one moment. And so now, right after that, we have the particle o, and this is again going to be the direct object particle. It's going to be marking koto as the direct object to the verb that's about to show up, and that verb is the very longly conjugated yaritogeru, which is going to translate to accomplish. Here it is going to conjugate into the potential form, which is going to then translate to be able to accomplish. Then in turn, it's going to be conjugated into the negative of that, so to not be able to accomplish. Then in turn, it's going to be conjugated into the past tense, so was not able to accomplish. And how is that going to read in Japanese? That is going to be yaritogerarenakatta. And so that is going to translate to, again, to not have been able to accomplish, basically. And that is going to be modifying the noun right after it, which is the word otoko, which means guy or man. So the man who was not able to accomplish the one thing that he decided to do on this occasion is what we have so far. And right after otoko, we just have the particle toshite, and this is going to basically mean It's going to translate to as in as a man who was not able to accomplish the one thing that he decided to do on an occasion. And so again, this is going to mean that the sentence is going to continue because we have this kind of ... as a man, blah 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 blah. Well, what did he do as a man? That blah 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 blah. We're gonna find out in the third part of this line. So we now move on to our next word, and we have the word Isshou, and this is gonna translate to basically a lifetime or whole life. Right after that, we have the word kui, which is gonna translate to regret. We're gonna mark kui as the direct object, so we have the direct object particle o right after it. Then we have another verb, because that's what usually follows after the direct object particle marker. And our verb is going to be nokosu, which means to leave behind, basically, is what it translates to. And lastly, right after that verb, we have the kind of phrasing koto ni naru. Koto, again, kind of means thing. Ni naru is the grammar pattern that means to become. We've done a grammar lesson on that. So koto ni naru is kind of going to translate to it becomes such that this thing happens. So it becomes such that this thing happens, and this thing is going to be Isshou悔いを残す, which means basically to live an entire life of regret. And so yeah, that's actually going to be the last part of the line. So let's all bring this together. It's a pretty lengthy line, and read it all over again. もしここでこれをやめると、俺は一度決めたことをやり遂げられなかった男として一生悔いを残すことになる. And this is going to translate to, if I stop here, I'll become a man who can accomplish the one thing he decided to do, and as that kind of man, live out an entire lifetime of regret.
もしここでこれをやめると、俺は一度決めたことをやり遂げられなかった男として、一生悔いを残すことになる。やめないとどんどん蹴りが強くなるわよ。
And so yeah, that's gonna about wrap it up. This has been our anime line of the day using the 11th episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. As usual, we're going to provide here the line that occurs right after the one that we've covered, just in Japanese, for you to try to figure it out yourself. You have some of the context of the episode, so see if you can translate it yourself. Put your answer in the comments. And actually, not only that, we actually provided the line before the line that we covered in the first playback of the clip from the episode, so that's just going to be an audio version of a line, so see if you can translate that as well.
今が最高に盛り上がるとこなのよ。
We're not going to give you the Japanese wording in the video, so this is kind of two separate challenges that are their own varying degrees of difficulty. So yeah, hopefully that'll be a helpful exercise for you people in the comment section below. And as always, there will be more videos to come, so look forward to the next anime line of the day.